Very good morning, students. Welcome to class 2 in a chapter Classes and Objects. Before getting into class 2, we'll see that what are the topics have been covered into class 1. We had covered an introduction to a classes, class definition, and declaration of classes. And we also saw a general syntax of class declaration with an example. We also discussed about a different access specifiers like private, protect, and public. And also we had a one example which was covered all the topics which we had discussed about that. Now let us get into class 2. Yes, today let us start our today's session with the first topic, member functions. What is that member function? Member functions are the functions that are included in a class. Class functions of a class can be defined either inside the class definition or outside the class definition. In both the cases, the function body remains the same. However, the function header differs. I repeat it again. In both the cases, the function body remains same and the function header is different. Member function can define in two places, inside the class definition and outside the class definition. Firstly, we'll see that how to define member function inside a class. To define member function inside a class, the function declaration within the class is replaced by actual function definition. I will repeat it again. The function declaration within a class is replaced by a actual function definition inside the class. A function definition in a class is treated as an inline function. Only a small functions are defined inside the class definition. Inside the class, the complicated programs are not being written in 95% of cases. In a general syntax, define a member function inside the class in the sense by having a return type return type followed by a class name with a member functions. I'll repeat it again. A general syntax is being written by return type class name within a function. The member functions are being declared. After seeing the general syntax of defining a member function inside the class, we'll see a small example how to declare the inside member function inside the class. This is a small example where you're going to calculate the area of a triangle. First of all, before writing a class, we are going to have a classification. What are the data members we are going to have and member functions we are going to have. When I want to calculate the area of a rectangle, I needed a formula of length into breadth. What is that? Length into breadth. So I'm going to add two variables called as in length as well as your breadth. Once I want to calculate this two, length and breadth, I needed to store the result in one more variable called as an area. These are the three data members we are going to have into this example. And in this program, we are going to have three member function. What are those member function in the sense? Firstly, I'm going to take all the data from the user. That I'm going to use it as member function as get data. In a get data, what are the data members I'm going to get? Enter the value for a length and the breadth. the cin, I'm going to accept a length as well as your. After getting all the data from the user, and we have collected and kept into one of the function called as in get data. After getting it, we are going to write a separate member function for the calculation part. How we are going to write a separate calculation part in the sense, we are going to take a return type which is having a void, followed by member function name as compute. In this part, we are going to calculate the area of a rectangle. In this here, how we are going to calculate in the sense, we are going to calculate area is equals to length into breadth. After calculating of this length into breadth, we are going to store the result into the area. Now the total calculation part is got over in one of your member function called as a compute. After computing it, we are going to write one more member function called as display. Display is a member function where you are going to display the result of area of a rectangle. Once all three member function is being created, what are those member function? That is nothing but get data, compute and display. These are the three member function which we have been created in this example. After creating all this member function into the inside the class, we are going to close a class with a close braces with followed by a semicolon. After seeing inside class definition, now let us see outside class definition. To define member function outside the class declaration, you must link the class name of a class with the name of a member function. Once again, I repeat you, to define member function outside the class declaration, you must link the class name of a class within the name of member function. Defining a member function outside a class requires a function declaration or a function prototype should be provided inside the class definition. It is declared inside the class as a normal function. It is declared inside the class as a normal function. This declaration informs the compiler that the function is a member of a class and that it is being defined outside the. After a member function is declared inside the class, it must be defined outside the class. We can do this by preceding the function name with the class name followed by a two colons. The two colons are called as scope resolution operator, and it is used to define the member functions outside the class. Now we will see the general syntax of the how to declare outside the class definition. A general syntax of declaring outside the class is using the keyword called as a return type. Return type followed by a class name, and it should be given a double colon, that is scope resolution operator. This operator is used to define outside the class declaration, and scope resolution operator followed by the member function name, and the function which is going to have different types of arguments, the arguments which is being given inside the function. After passing an argument, you can open the function body. How to open the function body? In the sense, by using one of the symbol called as an open brace. With the open brace and followed by the function body. Once a function body is being finished, it should be closed by using a close brace. Once a close brace is indicated, the function member function is being ended. Here we have a small example for declaring an outside the class. I'm going to take a small example for an operation. In this operation, we are going to take a two operation. One is sum and a product. Sum of two numbers and product of two numbers. So I'm going to create a class called as an operation. Class called as an operation. In this class operation, I have a two data members, that is A and B, which is declared inside the private. The data members are declared inside the private. Once I declare a data members, I'm going to create a member function. Here, just observe the member function here. As I told you, the return type we are going to just declare as a normal function inside the class. Once you declare a normal function inside the class, a return type followed by a member function name with a normal function. In this normal function will not have any semicolon. But here, once you want to write a declaration outside the class, the function will consist of a semicolon. Here I have a two member function, call it as a sum as well as a product. So this is considered as a normal function once it is being declared inside the class. Once we defined all the member functions inside the class in this program, let us see how we are going to declare outside the class. As we have seen in the into a syntax, in a previous slide itself, we have created a member function called as sum as well as your product. Sum as well as your product. Now I'm going to write how to declare outside the class. When I want to write an outside the class, first I should follow the return type. Return type as an int, an operation was being created as a class name. Operation was being created as a class name, and followed by one of a symbol called as a scope resolution operator, which helps us to create a class declaration outside the class. Now some which we already created a member function as a sum. Once you create a function header function, you're going to start open the body, which is used by a symbol called as an open brace followed by a function body, which is written a plus b. A plus b is a calculation for the sum member function. Once a calculation part got over, you are going to close the function. How we are going to close a function? By using same method, by closing a open brace. And I'm going to write a second calculation part for the second member function called as a product. Same thing we are going to follow as a return type as an int, operation as a class name followed by member function called as a product. Once I want to open up body, I used to use one of a symbol called as an open brace, and I'm going to write a calculation part. As soon as the calculation part is got over, I'm going to close the body as by using a flower bracket. This is how you're going to create the member function outside the class. Once after finishing the example, hope so you people have understood that how you have declared the outside the class as well as your inside the class. After finishing this topic, we'll come across the other topics into the next class. Thank you.